At 8:46 a.m. on September 11, 2001, a chain of events was set in motion that within 2 short hours would take the lives of over 3,000 people in a horrific act of cowardice. That fateful day, America witnessed the inexpressible, the incomprehensible, and the unthinkable. The first positive image to come out of the terror that awful day was the American flag. Since then, our role as Americans has been to make sure that the memories of those dreadful events will never fade. And in that capacity, our flag has been a comfort to all of us. One of the expressions of that comfort is the annual observance of September 11th as Patriot Day. And because of Patriot Day, a new kind of memorial has emerged called the Healing Field. Paul Swenson, owner of Colonial Flag in Sandy, Utah, had a strong desire to help people experience and comprehend the gravity of 9/11, and has given them a way to heal.
Right behind me here were 2 tall towers, the World Trade Center, and they're not here now. You know, the scale of this disaster hit every home in America. Every one of us were victims that day. Doesn't matter where you were, if you were eating breakfast or at the barber shop or wherever you were, we all became victims that day. And I actually like to call them victims for freedom. I hope that these fields of flags, these healing fields, become to Patriot Day, September 11th, what fireworks are to the 4th of July. That it's a way for people to get with their children, with their families, with their parents, and walk and ponder and think about not just the victims, but also to remember some of these larger issues of freedom and not taking for granted that freedom.
Hello, America, from the Girl Scouts of Arizona Cactus Pine.
It's a great way to honor our military soldiers and all those people who died. It's really neat. And it's good because if you get too hot, you can just jump in the water.
I saw a woman here last night who I had arrested about 2 times, and she stood about 3 feet away from me, and I'm pretty sure she knew who I was, and I knew who she was, but it really didn't matter. Everything just stops while you're here, and it's a great way to remember that there's other things that go on in the world other than everyone else's daily lives.
I would challenge people in a position to make a decision on whether to do this or not, that they look at the broader picture and see what it would do for the community.
You know, the mere fact that we were able to have over 500 people come together and focus on one project to get that done, I think that speaks volumes about the Healing Field Project.
When you see that 10 acres of land are filled with American flags, you recognize the kind of dedication and commitment it takes to bring something like this and our community together.
It's been the biggest thing we've ever done, and we did a whole lot and invested a whole lot in our 50th anniversary celebration. This makes that look like kindergarten. Not only the work that was involved, but the backlash, which is good, that came back to us as a result of this project was much greater for this than it was our 50th anniversary.
We were just glad to be part of this presentation. We were glad that we were able to be a sponsor, but we also know that this wasn't necessarily about Walmart. It was about remembering 9/11. It was about never forgetting. So that was the best message.
People, they show up, they want to be involved with it. They want to be there till it's done. And there are people with sore backs and blisters. They love to be there. That's the type of person that Osama bin Laden cannot touch.
Getting the funding was no problem at all. I said, write the check. And I thought once we had this field up that I would not be really so emotionally impacted, but every time I walked through it, the tears well up. I read the name of a couple of my friends, and I could hardly get through it.
Old people, young people, teenagers, it's just amazing the impact that this has.
Most people don't pay much attention to the grassy block directly behind Dallas City Hall, but it's difficult not to notice it right now. There are flags everywhere you look, some 1,400 of them.
We're back at 8:30 Pacific time on this Thursday morning, September the 11th, and you're looking live at the so-called Healing Field in Livingston, New Jersey. More than 3,000 flags flying as a dramatic memorial.
My younger brother was a civilian working for the Navy and was killed in the Pentagon.
You can see the people being touched. It means so much to be a part of that and know that in a way you are helping people who have a connection to people who have passed on.
Definitely brings emotions to the surface. I mean, I don't look very healed, but it's really nice to have somewhere to come and remember and to realize that other people have not forgotten.
A longtime Tempe resident, Gary Bird, was killed as he stood on the 99th floor of the World Trade Center Tower No. 2. Tempe has not forgotten and will not forget the Bird family, including Gary's wife, Donna Killowee Bird, and their 2 children.
This event is part of the soul of America. I had no idea how profoundly it would affect me in a positive way. I felt comforted. I felt hopeful for America.
John, Bruce, Eagleson.
I have a close connection to September 11th. I was stationed in the building in the South Tower for some training. And when all of the mayhem began that most people saw on TV, I had a bird's eye view of the entire thing. It was absolutely the most life-changing 20 minutes of my life when I came out of those doors of the South Tower. But this here has really given this day a positive meaning for me now. I don't have to dwell on such a negative ponderance. Now I can come out here and be amongst these flags and feel like I'm doing my part to not forget those who weren't as lucky as I was.
Everly, Margaret,
Colleen, Laura, Frazier.
Gus, Economus, Dennis, Michael, Edwards.
What I think happened here on accident was that the height of these poles being 8 feet tall are just slightly bigger than human height, and they're very interactive, and people can walk through and feel like they're addressing an individual. It takes on a life of its own. It's almost like a magnet for those spirits that were lost, actually, and I wouldn't doubt that if I were one of those victims and my spirit could move about, somehow I'd move my way out there for a moment to experience that. I know that.